Hey, if you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the Curiosity Wiki YouTube channel. Activate the bell to be the first to see the new videos. If you are here, it means you want to listen to this podcast that will teach you how to get rich without luck. There are a lot of people who want to know how to solve their financial problems, and they all know they want to be rich, but they don't have a set of principles to follow. What is the difference between wealth, money, and status? Wealth is the thing you really want. Wealth is an asset that is earned while you sleep. Wealth is a factory where robots make things. Wealth is the computer program that runs at night and serves other customers. Wealth can be money in the bank that are reinvested in other funds and other businesses. Even a house can be a form of wealth because you can rent it, or a land and a commercial enterprise. So we can say wealth are those businesses and assets that help you earn while you sleep. But the reason you want to be wealthy is to buy your freedom, so you don't have to get up at 7 a.m. and rush to work, waste your whole life in traffic. Some people waste all their productive hours in a job where they don't belong. So the purpose of wealth is freedom. It's like buying fur coats, or driving Ferraris, or sailing yachts, or flying around the world in your own personal airplane. All of the mentions get boring very quickly, but will make you feel fulfilled. You won't get that unless you really want it, and the whole world wants it. Everyone works hard for it, and to some extent it's a competition. There are competitive elements too, because there is a finite amount of resources in society, and to get the resources to do what you want, you have to stand out. Money is how we transfer wealth. Money is social credit. It's the ability to have credit. And if the job is done well, and it creates more value for society, society will say, "Thank you, we owe you something in the future for the work you've done in the past, here's our money." This money is the confidence from society. They owe you something for what you have done in the past. There are basically two huge games in life that people play. First is the money game, because money won't solve all your problems, but it will solve all your money problems, and we think people know that, they realize that, and they want to make money. But at the same time, many of them believe in their hearts that they can't make it, they don't want to create wealth. So they attack the whole enterprise, saying that making money is bad, but what they're trying to do is play the other game, the status game. They try to have high status in the eyes of those who look at them, saying, "I don't need money, we don't want money," and status is just a rank in the social hierarchy. The more houses that are built, the easier it will be to build a house. The more knowledge gathered about building houses, the more people will be able to own a house. On the other hand, status is a very old game. We've been playing it since monkeys existed. As you may know, status is hierarchical. Who is number one? Who is number two? Who is number three? And for a number three to get to number two has to get out of that game. Politics is an example of a game of status. Even sport is an example of a game of status. To be a winner there must be a loser. We don't particularly like status games. They play an important role in our society to figure out who is in charge, but fundamentally you play them, because they are a necessary evil. The problem is that if we go back thousands of years ago, status is a much better predictor of survival than wealth. Because you couldn't have wealth before the age of agriculture, before farmers. But there is always a subtle competition between status and wealth. I'll give you an example. When journalists attack rich people, they bid for status, saying people are more important. And the journalist represents the people, and therefore the journalist is more important to society. The problem is that because of this, you should avoid status games in your life. They can turn you into an angry and combative person. You will always fight to put others down, to put yourself and the ones you like in the spotlight. But really, people like this try to elevate their own status at the expense of others. They play a different game. There is the idea that everyone can get rich, and one of the ways to get rich is to denigrate people from other countries. People think that bankers steal our money, and it's somehow true, in the sense that in many parts of the world people stole all the time. There are people who create things, build things and work hard, and then others come along and play with the sword, with the gun, with taxes, with capitalism, with communism. There are different ways to steal. Even in nature there are more parasites than non-parasitic organisms. There are a lot of parasites that live off you, and the best ones are symbiotic, meaning they give something back, but there are many that just take. That's the nature of any complex system. But we need to focus on creating real wealth, not on taking money or taking something from someone. Obviously, there is no finite number of jobs or finite amount of wealth, otherwise we'd still be living in caves figuring out how to split a piece of firewood. But the reality is that everyone can be rich. We can see that even now. Right now everyone is richer than almost anyone who lived 100 years ago, or 200 years ago. Nobody had cars, nobody had electricity, nobody had iPhones. All these things are inventions that made us richer as a species today. We'd rather be poor in a country today than be rich people in 14th century France. I'd rather be a poor person today than an aristocrat back then. And that's only because of wealth, technology, and applied science. That being said, we believe in principle that everyone can be rich, and the thought experiment I want you to think about is imagine if everyone had the knowledge of a good software engineer and a good hardware engineer. If you could build robots and computers and bridges and program them, let's say every human knew how to do that, what do you think society would do? What would society look like 20 years from now? We think what would happen is we would build robots, machines, software, and hardware to do everything, and we would all live like we were retired. In the sense that none of us would have to work for anything. We'd even have robot nurses, we'd have hospitals run by machines, we'd have 100% automated farms. So at that point, we could use technological breakthroughs to get everything we want, and if anyone else will be working at that point, they would be working to express their creativity. But we don't consider capitalism to be bad. Capitalism is actually good, it's just hijacked. It's hijacked by mispricing. Moreover, it is hijacked by improper deals, whereas corruption, or monopolies. Capitalism is not something we have discovered, it is in every exchange we have. Whenever there is an exchange of information, some give some information to others, and the latter will give some information back. If this exchange of information is not good, the orientation will be to someone else. So the notion of exchange and keeping track of credits and debits is in us, as flexible social animals. We are the only animals in the animal kingdom that cooperate across genetic boundaries. Most animals don't cooperate, but when they do, they only cooperate in packs, where they have evolved together and have common blood and common interests. Humans don't have that, and what allows us to cooperate is that we can keep track of debits and credits, who deposited, how much they worked, who contributed how much. That's what free market capitalism is all about. We firmly believe that it is innate in the human species, and that we will create more and more wealth for everybody. Everybody can be rich, everybody can be retired, everybody can be successful. It's just a matter of education and desire. You have to want it. If you don't want it, it's okay, then get out of the game, but don't try to put down the people who play this game. Because this is the game that keeps you in a warm, comfortable bed at night. It's the game that keeps a roof over your head. It's the game that keeps your stock in the supermarket. It's the game that keeps your iPhone in your pocket. So it's a beautiful game that is ethically, rationally, morally, and socially worth playing for the human race. It will continue to make us all richer and richer until we will have immense wealth for anyone who wants it. There are countries, groups, political parties that clearly despise wealth, or so it seems. Thus the process of destroying wealth creation has dragged everyone down to their level. That is why in the United States, there is no politics. The US is a very popular country for immigrants because anyone can go there poor enough, and then work hard, make money, and become rich. In other words, think about it, imagine an organism that has too many parasites. In fact, you need a small number of parasites to stay healthy, and you need a lot of mitochondria in all our cells, which help us breathe and burn oxygen, all of which help us survive. But if you got infected with a virus or a parasitic bacteria, you would die, so any organism can only withstand a small number of parasites, and when the parasitic element gets out of control, you die. This way of enrichment is very important, but if a society does not respect it, if a group does not respect it, that society will collapse into ruin and darkness. Obviously, we want to be rich in this life, without relying on luck. Many people think that making money means having luck, but it is not so. For a person who knows English and arrives in an English-speaking country, in 5 or 10 years, they would be rich. There are 4 types of luck we talk about. The first type of luck is blind luck, where you get lucky because something happened totally without your input. You know. That's luck. That's fate. Then there's the luck that comes through perseverance, hard work, moving fast, generating a lot of opportunities, energy, doing a lot of things. In general, if you're strong, you're in a hurry, and you have energy, luck will find you. Thirdly, you become very good at spotting luck, so if you're really good at something, you'll notice when a lucky break comes along. And other people who aren't paying attention won't notice, so you become sensitive to luck, and that takes skill, knowledge and work. And the last kind of luck is the weirdest and hardest, but the one we need to talk about, which is when you build a unique character, a unique brand, a unique mindset, and that's when luck finds you. For example, let's say you're the best person in the world at scuba diving, and you're known for doing deep-sea dives that no one else would dare. Then, by pure chance, someone finds a sunken treasure off the coast that they can't get to. Their luck just became your luck, because they'll come to you to get the treasure, and you'll get paid for it. Extreme example, but it shows how the person who got lucky and found the treasure chest had a blind luck, but then he came to you and asked you to bring it and had to give you half. That's no longer luck. In this way you created your own luck. You put yourself in a position where you can capitalize on that. So when we talked about not having luck, we don't want to leave everything to chance. Remember that in the beginning nobody is taught or funded. Obviously many of us have minds and education that not all of us can afford, so there are some conditions that probably not all people can have. But if you listen to this video, or any of the other podcasts, you'll probably have the information at your disposal. Naturally, there's bad luck along the way. For example, you can instantly lose all your wealth in the stock market, or worse, you can be cheated by business partners. So a very important thing to understand is the constant creation of wealth with the help of deals and opportunities. You will see that all the little things add up little by little. More options means more businesses, more investments and more things.